What is up, guys? Welcome back to another GeekaWhat video. We all know how difficult it is to build a gaming PC right now. Shortages around the world have made it near impossible to pick up a GPU for anywhere near what resembles a good price point. Which got me thinking, what about those looking to get hands-on with a brand new gaming PC in time for Christmas? Well, this holiday season, I've gone ahead and done a bit of research and compiled some of the best pre-built gaming PC deals around. Just a couple of years ago, I was very skeptical of pre-built systems. And over the course of the pandemic, lots of sellers have taken advantage of the current situation. But there are a few big, prominent pre-built builders who actually have some decent deals on offer. So in this video, I'm not only going to show you some of the good deals we found, but also show you what to look out for, what to try and avoid, and what makes a good value pre-built system. It goes without saying I'm still a huge advocate of building a PC, and would rather build one than buy one, but if push comes to shove and it's the best route forward, I'm open to pre-builts too. Starting off for some of my US friends, I'll be diving into some UK specific deals a little bit later. NZXT Build, which is the pre-built gaming PC division of NZXT, have a pretty good reputation, and for good reason. For this video, I've tried to look towards their better value systems, mainly the Starter Pro PC lineup. There's a few different tiers of starter PC on offer from NZXT, but unfortunately, the top two are sold out. Nothing new there. The one at the bottom though, which currently comes in at just shy of $1,500, actually looks pretty decent visually, and spec-wise is fairly impressive. You get an i5-10400F, which may seem a touch out of date, but is still a good gaming CPU. You get 16GB of RAM running at 3000 MHz, fine for Intel, for Ryzen you want to go quicker, and an RTX 3060 Ti. Now the CPU on this one is a tiny little bit weak, and I think that they could have gone for at least an 11th gen chip. But it's part of the way they make this system so affordable. 3060 Ti's on eBay are going for like $700-800+. So to get a full system here for $1,500 or under is not bad going. Heck, I wouldn't even discount buying the system, taking out the motherboard and CPU and upgrading them for a better one. You can sell the 10400F and the included motherboard and not lose a great deal of money either. One of the things I really like about NZXT is that they actually name what each of the components are specifically. So you've got Team Group Memory, a pretty reliable brand. You've got a WD Blue SSD, once again pretty good, and a Deep Cool cooler. You can even go through and add all of these up together on your favourite retail site and see what the price there would be, allowing you to compare the difference. You also get Wi-Fi and Bluetooth as standard on a wide range of NZXT pre-builts, making them a very easy out-of-the-box solution. The only things really that I'm not a huge fan of, NZXT sort this out, that power supply. That PSU is below the recommended amount from Nvidia themselves for a 3060 or 3060 Ti system. I'm not entirely sure how on earth they're getting away with that, and that to me looks like an error. Now to be clear, they will have validated the system's power usage, and the power supply will be a decent unit. But even still, this seems like a weird way to save money. Another major PC builder in the States is of course iBuyPower. Now these are people who have come under quite a lot of pressure from Gamers Nexus in the last year, and for many valid reasons. But I wouldn't necessarily discount them just yet. I say this for a few key reasons. They have a lineup of systems called Same Day Ready. That means you haven't got to pre-order them, wait ages for them to arrive. You can actually get them within 2 working days. Sorting by price lowest to highest gives some really interesting results. At the top here, we've got a 6600 XT system, an absolutely fantastic new GPU from AMD, with a Ryzen 5 3600. This is a couple $100 cheaper than our NZXT build, but on balance I think is actually slightly better. Plus you also get liquid cooling on the CPU. It is only an iBuyPower white label unit, so isn't going to set the world on fire, nor your CPU, thankfully, and a B550 motherboard, giving you a bit of overclocking, something you won't get on an Intel-based system. If you spend another $150, you can also pick yourself up a Ryzen 7 3700X. Once again, a bit on the older side, but definitely a better CPU than the 3600. One of the builds that was most appealing to me though is this one, and these are pre-built deals we haven't seen, especially in the US, in the last year or so, potentially showing signs that supply chains for pre-builders are easing a little bit. With Windows 11 installed as standard, very bougie, an i5-12600KF, the best gaming CPU on the market right now, full stop, a Z690 motherboard, wow, alongside a 3060 with 16 gigs of RAM and a 1TB NVMe drive. This is a really impressive system. It doesn't have DDR5, so they're probably using like an Asus Prime D4 motherboard, but that's completely fine from our testing, and the CPU in this build is absolutely awesome. Scrolling down the list a bit further, if you spend a tad more cash, you can jump up to a 3060 Ti as well. To tell you the truth, if you've got two systems, one without a Ti and one with a Ti, for as little as $50 price difference, spend more money. This is not sponsored by iBuyPower, I don't work with them in any capacity, but trust me, the 3060 Ti is a much better GPU than the 3060. There's some really great deals actually on iBuyPower, and it surprised me just how competitive they've become. Scrolling further down the list though, there are some systems I would hasten you to avoid. I personally wouldn't go ahead and spend more than $2,000 on a PC with a Ryzen 3 Zen 2 chip. That to me doesn't sound like a very sensible idea. And likewise with these two systems here, they're 11th gen Intel processors, which aren't awful, but on a backdrop of cheaper 12th gen builds, they don't make a great deal of sense. Take these two PCs for example here. For $50 more, you can change from an 11900 to a 12900 KF. You keep the same GPU, you keep the same cooling, and that's a much better system. The 12th gen processors are so much quicker, as you'll be able to see in some of our coverage of these products. A bit of an outlier to the equation here as well is Origin PC. Owned by Corsair, you know you're going to get a great quality system, but you will pay a bit more money for it. One thing system builders often do, not always, but often, is they use cheaper white label cases, aka neutral, no brand cases that they bring in and put a sticker on. It's why you'll often see pre-builts looking quite similar to one another. Origin PC obviously don't do that, because they use Corsair cases. Their Neuron range is potentially a decent shout, but you will pay a lot more per component than with iBuyPower. But if you want a more refined system, you really want to make sure that quality is A1, they're a decent option to look out for. But what about if you're here in the UK? And US viewers, don't switch off, because I think what I'm about to show you might just surprise you. If you head over to eBuy.com and search for Alphasync, you'll find a wide range of pre-built gaming systems here in the UK with some really good reviews. Now, full disclaimer, we work with eBuy, they're a sponsor of the channel, we do quite a lot of video content together, but still, these prices and Trustpilot reviews really will speak for themselves. Take a look, for example, at this system here. Comes in around £1,000, around $1,000 when you account for the VAT difference and stuff here in the UK, the tax. This has a 3060 and a Ryzen 7 3700X for £1,000. Pre-pandemic, you couldn't even build that system for £1,000, and truth be told, I'm not quite sure how they're doing it. Technically, this is still part of a Cyber Monday bundle, so these things will change and shift about. As I say, all of our videos, pricing is fluid, it does change, but just as it can go up, it can also go down. If you want some advice on these systems as to which is the best one to go for, I would personally avoid the GTX series of PCs when the RTX builds are not that much more expensive. For only another £150 between these two systems, you're going to get easily double, nearly triple the performance, at least as far as graphics is concerned. But it doesn't end there. For £1,600 you can get yourself a 3070 system, once again $1,600 equivalent in the US, where those guys are only able to pick up something with a 3060 maximum. Plus this is a Ryzen 5, much better than a 10th or 11th gen i5 as we saw with NZXT. Alphasync also have a new configurator as well, so if you'd like to configure your perfect system, you can do so, and you'll be able to see here just how much you're paying per component, making it really super transparent. So you can see, for example, that if you add an extra 16 gigs of RAM on from Corsair, that the price will shift about a bit. And it lets you choose once again those branded components. Something I did like actually about both iBuyPower and NZXT. Now to be clear, this is not an ideal situation. Personally, I'd rather build my PC over buying them any day. Not because there's anything wrong with what these guys do. There's some really great systems from a range of retailers in this video. However, in the current climate, it could be a very good shout. And with around 4 to 5 weeks until Christmas, you should have plenty of time to get your orders in and still get your PC in time. I know there's a lot of you with budget out there ready to build a PC, and as much as it pains me, don't go ahead and waste $800 on a used GPU on eBay when you can get a full system for not much more. If you found this video insightful, useful, entertaining or indifferent, make sure to drop a like rating, leave a comment with any questions you've got and we'll be sure to respond as well. Thanks for tuning in though, and as always, we'll see you in the next GeekaWhat video.